Hello, and welcome to DiscoverSteno. My name is Cynthia Bruce Andrews, Senior Director of Education and Certification, and we are here today to talk to you about DiscoverSteno. I'd like for my colleague, Nancy Varallo, to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Nancy Varallo and I am the chair of NCRA's A to Z task force, and I want to thank all of you for joining us.
Thank you, Nancy. Today we are going to talk to you about DiscoverSteno, a program that started last year during Court Reporting and Captioning Week. We've had a very successful year and we look forward to each and every one of you joining us. DiscoverSteno was created to increase the visibility of Steno with new audiences. It's a recruiting tool that we are looking to use in order to get students into court reporting school. We also created a tool to evaluate participants to see whether or not court reporting is for them, and that's basically what the program A to Z is about. And then we are asking you as a program leader to capture that information so that we can market to those participants as well as recruit them into court reporting school. The two components are considerSteno, and when you go to the website discoversteno.org, you will see these two components. considerSteno is the interest inventory survey that NCRA created to find out whether or not a participant would be a good fit for court reporting. There are two surveys, one for participants who are under the age of 26, and then another for those that are above 26. We actually send those leads to the schools, and then schools have an opportunity to contact those leads and try to turn them into court reporting students. Learn Steno is the A to Z program, and the program was designed to, as I said, to see if people are interested in court reporting and actually get them enrolled in school. One of the things that we're finding is that those that are interested in it are saying that this is a great opportunity for them to get a little bit of hands-on experience before they actually enroll into court reporting school. And we're looking for this to help schools' graduation rates, because those students that are actually enrolling in school will complete the program. What is considerSteno? As I just said, it is an interest inventory survey that that participants take to find out about court reporting. And with those two programs, the interest inventory survey and the A to Z program, you put those two together and you get 24 hours where you can make a difference to introduce participants to an A to Z machine shorthand program. And I'll turn it over to Nancy.
Welcome again. So as Cynthia said, 24 hours to make a difference. That's all we're asking of you as volunteers. So what exactly is this A to Z program that you're inquiring about? Well, last year we launched this, as Cynthia said, during Court Reporting and Captioning Week. And we encouraged state leaders and others across the nation to deliver the A to Z program. It is designed to be given by anyone, an official court reporter in their courthouse, a freelancer in your dining room, a firm owner at your office. Association board members can use libraries to host A to Z. If you own a school or work at a school, you can use your own classrooms to host A to Z program. So what is it exactly? It's designed to be given over 6 to 8 weeks, 3 hours a week. That's where we get your 24 hours to make a difference. You can teach it one day a week on a Saturday morning or perhaps a Tuesday night. And you're going to learn about the Steno keyboard. I'll tell you a little bit about how the book is laid out and how we teach the Steno alphabet. But we all know it doesn't take that long to learn 26 letters on the Steno keyboard. So we, in this 6 to 8 week program, leave you as leaders to have plenty of time to discuss the great flexibility that our career offers in the various working environments that young people can enter. So I would encourage you, if you want to handle, or rather want to lead an A to Z program, is to find a reporter to share it with you. You don't have to take all the burden on by yourself. So maybe 1 or 2 of you switch every other week when you're teaching this program, or maybe you have 3 and you work together, a couple of you show up for each class. But you don't have to do it all alone either. You can invite guests to come into your classroom on computer or telephone, come in person, and tell all of these prospects about our great profession. We'll only ask you not to have any bad negative war stories. We don't want to scare people away. We want them to come in. So just keep it all positive. And I know we always get these questions like, what happens if you can't hear, or you can't keep up with what the witness is saying? And I think the best answer for prospective students is that you'll learn in court reporting school how to handle those situations. So we want to build them up, not scare them away from our program. So after you've listened to this webinar, if you decide A to Z is for you, you can contact one of our A to Z task force members. We will answer all your questions. We'll meet via phone if it's a group of you. We'll go over how to dictate from the book and how to get the program marketed in your area. You will be added. Importantly, you'll be added to the listserv that NCRA has set up for leaders. So anyone who has given a program in the past or has signed up to give a program in the future is on this listserv. And you can ask all kinds of questions there about how someone handled a certain situation. And every single day there's activity on that listserv, and we're getting new suggestions and comments and questions every day. So in the A to Z program, we want to remind you that you're not teaching a course. So we are not calling them classes or courses. We're calling them a program. And you are leading a program. So you're not an instructor. You're not a teacher. And we don't have students necessarily. We have participants. We want to make sure that everyone in the public understands that this is not a course to learn how to become a court reporter. It's just an introduction. So it's an introductory program. I will tell you, the book is laid out so nicely that it is very, very, very simple to deliver the information that's in the book. You don't have to take homework assignments and collect them. You don't have to give tests. You don't have to correct anything. Again, it's not a class. It's just an introduction. And what we hear so often from the leaders who have given this course before is it's fun. It's really easy to do. I had a great time. I can't wait to do my next one. And I loved it. Last year I spoke in front of the NCRA, this association of, the Committee of State Associations, and Meredith Bond said, oh, Nancy told me this was going to be easy, and I didn't believe her, but it really is. It really, really is easy to deliver this message, or to deliver this program, rather. So I would just ask you, once you receive the information, to just teach what's in the book. So you don't have to get creative. It's all right there laid out nicely in front of you. So what do we teach in addition to the alphabet? Not much. We don't teach punctuation, so they don't have sentences in the book. We don't teach any complex theory, so they can't write shrimp, and they can't write bench or church. And we only teach 1- and 2-digit numbers, so they can't write 5,645 when they're done. Our goal is to teach them simple one-stroke words like dog and cat and boat, and simple numbers like 3 and 33. And we do not want them to have to unlearn anything they learned in school, in A to Z, before they go to school. So once they get to school, we don't want them to have to undo what they learned here. So we keep it very, very simple. So it's important that as a leader of the A to Z program that you help us at NCRA help our schools. We want to know about the people that enroll in your A to Z program. We would love to have feedback from you, anything you find in the book that's difficult to teach or confusing, or areas where you think there could be more robust practice drills for the students. I know one area like the G, when they're learning jig and gig, there's always time I spend giving them more dictation in that part. So any of those kinds of things that you notice in the program, anything you can do to help us help the program along would be greatly appreciated. So you're ready to get started. What next? If you go to the Education tab on NCRA's website and scroll down, the very last button on that tab is Teach an A to Z program. There you'll find a link to the Memorandum of Understanding that you'll have to sign. And all that means is that you agree that the materials are NCRA and materials and that you'll only use them for the purpose of this A to Z program. Once NCRA has that MOU from you, they'll send you the book, they'll send you marketing information, they'll send you the forms we ask you to fill out. So we have lots and lots of documentation that'll be sent to you. We won't overwhelm you, I promise, and then a member of our task force will help you through those and how to work with them. So as a leader, you can take the book that we send you and print it. You don't need to have the participants return it at the end of the classes. They can write in it and make it their own. Some leaders choose to print the whole book and hand it out the first day of class. Others only print the lessons they need for that class, because, or I said class, I'm not supposed to say that, for that session, because they don't want to have to print things if someone drops out after a couple of weeks. So how is the book laid out? It's A to Z. It's laid out in 26 lessons. In chapter 1, they learn the A, the long A, and the number 5, because that's found on the A key. Lesson 2, they learn B and final B. Lesson 3, they learn that they don't really need a letter C, because a C sounds like a K or sounds like an S, so we kind of skip past lesson 3 pretty quickly. And on. Lesson 6, F, final F, and number 6. So at the end of lesson 6, they can write simple one-stroke words, such as the ones on your screen, add and deed, and they can write simple 1 and 2 numbers, 5, 55, 6, 66. So we try to keep it simple. They'll also learn along the way certain consonant blends and diphthongs, such as the ones on the screen, oi and oo and ow and ah. That's always fun to dictate when you're dictating those sounds. And then a bunch of the blends. So, you know, they can write really cool words like moo. We try to keep it simple. So we do not teach in the book letters that are written in many different ways in the field. So, for example, we don't teach final V. Final V is written so many different ways. Again, as I said earlier, we don't want them to have to unlearn anything when they get to school that they learned in A to Z. So they can't write the word stove or Steve, but they'll get that in school. How to pace yourself for the course. You have 8 weeks to deliver it, 3 hours a week. You can pretty much go at your own pace and how your students are developing. You can shoot for 5 lessons every session, but it's difficult to do that necessarily mathematically perfectly, because some lessons have a lot more to learn than, for example, chapter 3, which is the C, and we kind of skip over it. So you can pace yourself, and you can pace it according to the student's progress and questions. So when we started A to Z, we went to, as I said, the NCRA meeting and spoke with them about their role. And many, many, many states across the country have started A to Z programs. So this grassroots effort really, truly is working. But those state leaders can help identify people in their area that want to take A to Z programs. We want everyone, that's my vision for this program, everyone delivers an A to Z program. So if you're a firm owner, you can establish, you can get some benefits from it. You can establish a relationship with these A to Z participants early on in their learning of Steno. Ask your reporters to help you out. And you can build some teamwork in your office and foster a sense of giving back. So as a firm owner, this is a real win for you to deliver an A to Z program in your office. If you're a reporter, offer to run an A to Z program with a couple of your reporting friends. You can bring the flyers that we give you to depositions and let attorneys and paralegals know about the fact that there's a shortage in court reporting, and we have these free introductory programs that people can attend and try it out. Let them know what we do, that this is a lucrative, well-respected, and rewarding profession. You're in the front lines every day as a reporter. It's perfect. As an official, we've had such success in some of the states where emails have been sent out to courthouse staff. I mean, these folks are already in the judicial marketplace. They understand how the judiciary works. So let them know about the shortage of reporters and that we're working hard to bring new people into this profession and rejuvenate it. Make partners out of the folks at your courthouse. And if you're a captioner, you, I think, are in such a wonderful position because you have such grateful consumers. I loved when I was doing captioning, I said, I got more hugs from captioners, from caption consumers than I have ever in a lifetime gotten from a lawyer. So you have people that really admire what you do and are grateful for the services you offer. So if you let them know about the shortage, they can help become partners with you to help bring new people into this profession. This JCR Weekly comes out once a week, an email to your inbox if you're an NCRA member. And on the bottom right corner of that email, you'll see a key, or a link rather, to donate or loan your equipment to the A to Z program. We need machines for all of these participants across the nation. So you don't have to ship it or do anything with it. We'll just put you in the repository that we know you have a machine. So when there's a student in your area that needs a machine, we know who to contact. So typically we ask you if you have machines to donate them. And if you are having trouble as a leader getting machines for the participants in your program, we have extra. You don't need paper machines, but it's nice if you have paper machines because you can do readbacks. If you have perhaps an old mirror that has a Steno window, that's great because you can see the Steno there. If you have a class or a program that's filled half with machines with windows or paper and half that don't, just swap them out with the participants halfway through the program so everyone gets a chance to look at their Steno. And we have a machine rental form ready for you. And we only ask the students or the participants to bring a recorder to record your dictation that you give them in class so they have it for at-home practice. We do ask them to practice for 2 hours of every day. And that is a wonderful tool for us to know whether someone can actually handle a court reporting program. If you can't figure out how to put 2 hours into your day for practice, perhaps you shouldn't go to court reporting school. So we're asking the participants to do that practice so that we can really have them self-select. Are they really good and right for a court reporting program? We do have practice logs. We ask them to fill in. They're not required, but I think it kind of gets those participants in the mindset of tracking how much time they're donating to this program. And lastly, state associations, we're asking you to help us share the A to Z good news by sending letters to your members and posting it on your social media pages. Look for free community papers. I know my town, if you're a nonprofit organization, they'll let you post announcements at no cost. And find flyers, or post flyers rather, everywhere you go, anywhere that people might be interested in a new career. Grocery stores and libraries and the Y and your local gym. All those are great places to post the information about this. These are some of the ideas that came from the listserv. We asked the question on the listserv, who has some great marketing ideas. So here we go, leave them in transcripts when you deliver your transcripts to law firms, give them to the courts and the administration at your courthouses. In Massachusetts, where I'm from, we just had a newsletter for a homeschoolers association. They just posted for us in their newsletter, and they've actually invited us to come speak about court reporting. We identified this association in Massachusetts of homeschoolers that has 3,500 members. These are parents of people who homeschool their children. So what a fabulous opportunity for us to spread the good news. So get creative, think about places that might want to hear about what you do. Here's just a list of some more of the marketing ideas that came from our from our listserv. Chambers of Commerce, Toastmasters clubs, all of these kinds of folks. And the military, they're always looking for new opportunities to retrain veterans. So it's a great place if you have a connection there. Here's just a screenshot of what our marketing flyer looks like that you can personalize and put your own information about when your program and where your program will be. But this is, I think, a pretty powerful intro to what we do. So how do people find out about the A to Z program other than through you and your word of mouth and marketing efforts? NCRA's website, DiscoverSteno.org, Cynthia made reference to that. So a prospect can get on there and actually register that they would like to take an A to Z program. If and when you get added to the listserv, on every Friday, you'll get an email from NCRA saying, here's the list of people that are waiting for an A to Z program. So if you're a leader, for example, I'm in Massachusetts, if there's people in Massachusetts waiting to take an A to Z program, I can claim them. I'll let Cynthia or Ellen at NCRA know that I would like to have the contact information for those participants. And then it's up to me to contact them and keep them coming in to do the A to Z program. At that point, NCRA kind of gives them to us and they're off the list. So how many participants would be ideal for your group? There really is no minimum. We've had people do it with one person. My last group was 5. I think a group of about 10 to 12 would be ideal because people do drop out. Cynthia's going to go through some of the statistics, but a lot of people drop out in week 2 or week 3, which is great because they're finding out this isn't for them, and then they're not taking a lot of their savings and putting it into college tuition to become a court reporter when it's really not for them. So if you are getting requests from people who might want to take the A to Z program, and you know in your heart of hearts, this person, she's 75 years old, she's probably never going to go through court reporting school and become successful. What do you do about that? Well, I say take everyone, bring them into the class, expose them to what we're doing. They all have neighbors or children or friends that might want to know about court reporting. So as they hear about how great our profession is and all the options we have, they can get educated on that and share that with other people, even if they'll never be a court reporter. It's all about awareness. So I'm going to have Cynthia take over now and go through some of the program statistics with you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. As of January 2018, we have seen a lot of programs start. And as I said, we officially kicked this off last year during Court Reporting and Captioning Week. But actually, Nancy had some court reporters do some beta testing for us prior to kicking it off. And so I guess I can say we've conducted programs since the summer of 2015. And so we've had 71 programs scheduled, and those 71 programs that have been scheduled have been all across the country. And right now, we have 25 programs in progress. Once you go to the DiscoverSteno website, what you will see is somewhat of a makeshift calendar that tells you where the on-site programs are being located, and that's how participants can find out if there is a program located in their state. We've had more than 96 volunteers for those 71 programs. We've had more than 96 volunteers contribute to leading a program. And as I said, it's been from all across the state. There are some states that are doing better than others, so it doesn't matter where you're from. We would definitely want you to sign up to become a program leader. And I'll talk a little bit later about the program that we will start hopefully next month that will catch those participants that are in the hinterlands where there isn't a program leader doing a program on the ground. Of those 71 programs and the 96 participants, we've had 274 participants go through the program. And that, I think that has kind of exceeded my expectations, because when we started, we really didn't know how this was going to go off. And like like the court reporters that you are, we put the call out, and you came to the rescue. So 10 or more programs are enrolling A to Z participants, and that's one of the good things about this program is that, as Nancy said, some are small, but it looks like many of the programs that are being run are having about 10 or more people in there. So you're wondering, where are they going? Of the 274 participants that have attended a program, these are the court reporting programs that they have indicated that they will be attending. There are others, and once we get that information turned in to us on the forms that I will definitely share with you towards the end of this program, you'll see how important it is to turn that information in. Here's a quote from a school about the program, and as you can see, she's very pleased with what is happening in her area and how it is impacting her community college program. And then we had this quote, very recent, from a student who attended an A to Z program in Wisconsin. And this says it all for me right here, is that she really saw that having this opportunity to get a taste of what it would be like to be in school has not only solidified her option to go to court reporting school, but also it helped her in knowing that this is something that she wants to do. And that's the key, as Nancy said earlier, that's the key to this program. It's getting people interested in it, knowing about it, and then if it's something that you like, going on to school. Leaders should refer participants, anyone who is interested, you really should refer them to our NCRA website for schools. We do not, and that was one of the things that I think Nancy said, but with the program leaders, we do not want to recommend any particular school, but what we would like for you to do is to recommend that they go to the NCRA website and look at the school information that is there. It will help them in trying to find a court reporting program. And then participants can pair up with a court reporter or board member to help them track their progress as they go through the program. We'd also like to encourage them to be part of the mentoring, the NCRA virtual mentoring program as well. Once your program is complete, one of the most important things is to return your forms to NCRA. Now, I can't say it enough, return your forms, return your forms, return your forms. This is probably the part of the program that's not that glamorous, because who wants to do paperwork? But that paperwork helps us to determine if this program is successful, if all the work that you're doing is helping to create that pipeline of students that will go on to court reporting program. It also helps us to recognize those participants that complete the program, because we do send them a certificate of completion. This is the first form that you will fill out, and you will get all the forms once you sign up. But this is the first form that you fill out, and you should fill it out the first day of your program. And it's just to get the demographics on the people that are in your program. And you can send that to me via email. It's a fillable PDF. However, if you want to print it, you can also print it. I prefer that you fill the PDF out and then send it to us electronically, because I can then download the information out of the PDF and upload it into our system, our tracking system. If you write it, then I have to rewrite it, and also I have to read your writing. So I like it if you just fill out the PDF. These are the two forms that you fill out at the end of your program, and probably the most important forms. The form that says participant information, that tells me of those people who started in your program on the form prior to the slide. This gives me their name, their email, whether or not they completed the program, and if they're going on to a court reporting program. If they didn't complete the program, it tells me where they dropped and the reason for dropping. And as Nancy said, sometimes this is just not for them, and that's good to know. Or they found it was too hard. But that form is very important. The leader program information form is also important, because that form tells me the date, time, location of your program. It also tells me if there was anyone who helped you, if you had any guest speakers. All of that information goes in that second line that says trainer contact information if different than program leader. It also helps in filling out the certificate that we send to the participants, because we do put the start date and the end date on the program, on the certificate. And by returning all three forms, you are eligible to receive PDCs, your professional development credit. Everyone will receive professional development credit. This is an example of the certificate that they will receive at the end of the program. And as you see, we put the date on there, so it's very important if you send it back. As I said, you earn PDCs and not CEUs, and you can earn one PDC per cycle, and you must teach the full program. Now, those that are helpers and guest speakers, they will actually receive 0.25 PDCs, but they all have to be listed on your forms, and the forms have to be turned in, all three forms. It's very important that we get those forms back, because that data that I was sharing with you earlier, that's where that data comes from, the forms that you turn in to us. When we started this program a year ago, Nancy talked about the list that we send out every Friday that has participants' names on it that could possibly be in your area. We've probably had over about 600 people sign up, but currently we have about 250 that have not been, as Nancy says, claimed. We call them unclaimed. And the reason why they are unclaimed is because of two things. One, I don't have a program leader in that area, or some states have yet to stepped up to do a A to Z program, or that particular participant is in the hinterlands, which means there's not a program leader or court reporter out there. And so in having that problem, we decided we were going to start an A to Z online program. It says February 2018, and that was my goal, and I still have a couple more days but if I'm realistic, it will probably be mid-March by the time it starts. We will have 4 pilot classes that will go on, and there'll be 1 in each time zone. The class will be facilitated by a court reporter. They will meet at least once a week, and they'll also have the guest speakers to come to their class. And we're trying to make it as interactive as it would be if it was on the ground. We've also done some additional dictation. Nancy and another colleague, Doreen Sutton, were very gracious in their time and dictated the book so that if a student wanted to go back and do dictation, not only those participants who are doing a program on the ground could utilize the dictation, but the online participants as well. And as you can see, I'm still learning the language between participant and student. So we're listening, and we want to know what's working, what's not working, and how we can improve the program. We can help, but we need to hear from you. So I want to thank you. You are the ones who are making this happen, and you're the ones who are making a difference in how successful the A to Z program will be in the future, as well as the online A to Z program. And I look forward to seeing many of you sign up to become program leaders. Nancy, would you like to have any closing remarks?
I think the only thing I would say is it's worth it. It's worth the 24 hours. Do it with a friend. Have fun with it. We need your help, and we're grateful for your help, and the profession will be better for your volunteer efforts. So thanks all of you, and contact me or any member of our task force anytime. We're happy to meet with you.
And with that, we will say thank you and have a good afternoon.